Tito Mora has been a successful singer in Spain for many years. His most precious souvenir, probably this gold disc, the very first to be awarded in Spain. When he listens to the old songs, it's always with a little bit of nostalgia for the past, a time before one of the most difficult periods of his life.
Iba un día con mi mujer al supermercado, estábamos haciendo la compra y yo llevaba el carrito del supermercado y me dio un mareo y me caí desmayado al suelo. Y entonces llamamos a mi cuñado, el doctor, y me dijo que el hígado lo tenía muy mal, que estaba terriblemente enfermo y que si no me ponía en una lista de espera para trasplantarme el hígado, que me moría en 3 meses.
Luckily, Tito Mora was found a donor organ very quickly, which saved his life. Elsewhere in Europe, he might not have been so lucky. And that's the problem. Transplantation is the only treatment possible for some conditions. A study carried out for the European Commission shows that the number of donors per million inhabitants varies from 2 to 35 in function of the country. This means that, depending on where they live, not all European patients have the same chance to receive a transplant.
And in some countries, the organization of getting organ donors is more efficient than the other countries. But obviously it has to do how the healthcare system is organized. What are the beliefs among the population? What are the ethical values in a society? But we have seen in some countries that the organ donation rates can be dramatically improved by systematic action.
In fact, 15 years ago, Spain, which is now way out at the top of the statistics, was right down near the bottom of the European class. But Spain has since created a national transplant organization, which has developed an efficient strategy.
Nosotros empezamos con lo que hoy se conoce como un modelo español, que en realidad es un modelo organizativo. Se trata de entrenar determinados profesionales, médicos, intensivistas que trabajan en las unidades de vigilancia intensiva y entrenarlos prácticamente en todos los pasos de la cadena de la donación, que empieza detectando el donante, que sigue con su mantenimiento, que sigue con la entrevista familiar y que finalmente acaba, pues si todo sale bien, con el trasplante de esos órganos.
It's a pragmatic approach. A potential donor is usually someone who is declared officially brain dead in a hospital situation. That means the organs can be kept alive artificially for a certain period in intensive care. From that moment on, the hospital coordinator plays a crucial role, as this specialist lung transplant surgeon explains.
La figura del coordinador es muy importante en un hospital, puesto que es el que detecta un potencial donante, sobre todo en las unidades de cuidados intensivos. Es muy importante que una vez que el donante está en muerte cerebral, el coordinador es el que solicita los permisos tanto al juez como a los familiares para que realmente se pueda hacer la extracción de órganos.
Through this system, backed up by public information campaigns, Spain has gone from 500 donor organs a year in 1989 to 1,500 today, which is what excited the interest of the European Union. It would like to see other member states achieve the same increase in their organ donation, and so it was decided to organize a wide-scale consultation on the subject.
Europe is very much about learning from each other, and in this case we can show that there are countries who are doing very well, and we hope that we can, at European level, transfer the best practices from one country to another country. We are now listening to all stakeholders in different countries and trying to get the answer to a question that what would be the best way forward.
But all the countries, included those which are leading the field in organ donation, still come up against another problem, a chronic shortage of available organs.
En este momento tenemos unos 50 pacientes esperando un trasplante pulmonar. Sabemos que el 10 al 12% de estos pacientes van a fallecer sin que les llegue un órgano adecuado.
Yo creo que esto es una característica de los trasplantes, que son un poco víctimas de su propio éxito. Cuanto más se trasplanta, se introduce en lista de espera enfermos más graves, de mayor edad, con mayores complicaciones, y en consecuencia es muy difícil, es imposible realmente alcanzar las necesidades.
One possible response would be to share national resources across borders. That's what some countries are already doing, linked by different organizations. One example is the Eurotransplant Foundation in Rotterdam. For its director, the cross-border sharing of available organs offers distinct advantages.
The major advantage of cross-border changes is that people that need a transplant only benefit from people with an organ that fits. And it is very difficult to find an organ that fits well. And if you have a larger donor pool, the chance that you find a fitting organ is greater. That's why if countries cooperate, the chance that you find a good organ is greater than when you stay alone. And that is why within Eurotransplant, 20% of all organs cross borders. And within the rest of Europe, it's only 2%.
Eurotransplant was created 40 years ago by a group of doctors, and these days covers Austria, Belgium, Germany, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and Slovenia. 24 hours a day, these 6 countries keep in touch with each other's needs and monitor the possibilities of organ exchanges. The system is an example of what could become a real European exchange network.
I do not see that it would be very difficult to create a Europe where one would cooperate in the area of organ exchange. The fact that it has existed for 40 years and that there are even countries that are interested in further cooperation with Eurotransplant seems to me that it's a successful formula.
It remains to be seen if a big exchange network on a European scale is technically feasible or is just a dream, considering that a transplant must be carried out in a very short time.
Regional cooperation is obviously the first thing to start with. But of course, when the technology evolves and the transportation system improves, there are possibilities to work more Europe-wide.
In the end, so that all Europeans have the same chance of benefiting from a transplant, national procedures need to be improved to identify the maximum number of potential donors, learning from the experiences of the more advanced countries. But cross-border exchanges also need to be increased. As for Tito, every day he thinks about the luck he had to have been given a transplant in time. He's produced a record with a number of other singers to support organ donation, a means, he says, of saying thank you and of promoting, in his own way, what is really a gift of life.